I was speaking to somebody yesterday about their buy-to-let portfolio, all right? They've got a decent sized portfolio, but they're sick and tired of the poor returns. And now interest rates are getting higher. When they want to refinance, their 250 or 300 pound cash flow is dwindling down to the point where they might even be in a negative, a deficit, to the point where they need to actually add money to their portfolio, okay? Now, this is a common issue that I'm seeing at the moment. And in this video, I'm gonna share with you how you can overcome it, all right? Don't panic, I've got you covered. Vanilla buy-to-lets. I mean, look, this is the bread and butter of property investment. You buy a property, all right? You give it a lick of paint, you rent it to a family, usually via a letting agent that takes a commission, and you are completely hands-off, and you get your rent every month, you pay the mortgage, and your landlord insurance, and everything else is profit. Sounds good, right? The problem is, over the past number of years, buy-to-let has become harder and harder. The government are putting a lot of taxes in place so that you are not able to offset the cost of your mortgage, and the yields are decreasing because the cost of the properties have massively increased over the last 20 or 30 years, and it's making things tight. The other issue with buy-to-let, if you're brand new to property, is that, let's say you're earning $5 a month, and you want to replace that with property investment. And let's say, for example, you're earning, I don't know, £250 per buy-to-let, which isn't uncommon. You would need 20 buy-to-lets to just replace your income. And realistically, in order for you to have the confidence and the buffer to quit your job or to have that freedom or to be able to retire early or whatever it is, you're probably going to need 30 or 40 buy-to-lets. Now that is not easy. Unless you've got an endless pit of money, that is really, really hard. And it's going to take a lot of time, and it's likely going to take you tapping into investor finance to scale it. So it's not going to get you out of your job today, far from it. And it's not going to give you the financial independence or the buffer or the side hustle income that you need to offset all these high costs that we're seeing right now. But don't worry. If you're out there and you own assets and you're considering selling them or you're getting demoralized, there is another option. Same house, but you need to supercharge the cash flow. And there's two main ways of doing that. HMO, which is house shares, and serviced accommodation. Now look, if you have got a 2-bed property, HMO is not going to work. Maybe you're in an Article 4 area where you would need to change the use. HMO is going to be hard to work. Serviced accommodation, however, can work for almost any property, okay? Any property, especially if it's a freehold and there's no lease in place. All you've got to do is to refinance onto the correct mortgage, okay? Get it furnished and ready to rock and roll, and you could absolutely supercharge your returns right now. This is absolutely key. So I've seen situations where instead of you doing £250, you could be doing as much as £2 grand, £2.5 grand even. I don't want to gas you up and be overly zealous with my figures here. But even if you just went from 250 to £1,000 a month, that's 400%, that's 4x. This is a way that you can save your portfolio and you can replace your income right now, okay? I'm Simon. If you're brand new to the channel, I specialize in service accommodation. I also mentor and help other people on their journey. And over the past 5 years, I've created a 7-figure rent-to-rent portfolio, and then I've reinvested that into a 7-figure portfolio that I actually own. And I don't touch buy-to-lets, okay? Because I want my properties to maximize the returns, okay? And I would rather put the systems in place to manage them seamlessly than make £250 a month and maybe one day be able to live the life I want to live. So if you're sat there with buy-to-lets, I definitely would explore how you can maximize the returns. There's tons of video and content on this channel that you can go through as to how to pick the area, okay? how to get the guests, how to get direct bookings, how to set up a channel manager, how to get your online travel agents. And I know what you're thinking. If you feel like this is just too much hard work and you're like, I don't have to do anything for my buy-to-lets, then you can always find a service accommodation agent that can do all this stuff for you. So you remain hands-off, but you get the bigger returns. And it can absolutely transform your life. I've seen it. I've seen people transfer a buy-to-let that was making £400 a month, and now they're making $2.5 grand a month from the same property. You don't need many of those to make a big difference in your life, all right? That is the fact. Another thing, which you're absolutely gonna love, is because serviced accommodation shows a higher level of income, once you've got a year or two's proof of bookings, proof of concept, you can actually refinance a way higher level, okay? And guess what? In terms of offsetting the mortgage that you can't do in buy-to-let, there are options for you in serviced accommodation. So speak to your accountant and they can guide you through all of that. So I know what you're thinking now. You're going to be like going for dinner with your other half. You're going to be like, yo, Simon says that we can supercharge our cash flow. We need to do it. We need to do it. You definitely can do this. Trust me, okay? If you need any help, just Instagram @SimonsmithOnline. Drop me a DM. More than happy to point you in the right direction. I appreciate you watching. If you're not already, hit the subscribe button and I'll see you in the next video.